Welcome back to Mastering Menopause. Today, I am joined by Alison Jones, which you may or may not have heard Alison's previous podcast where she was on. I share it often with everybody and welcome back. So like a part two, kind of a follow-up from that initial conversation. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. Thanks. So when you were first on here, we were talking about you had lost 12 pounds and 12 inches in 8 weeks. So, and we've just kind of built on to that success as you've gone on. And you shared your experience. You started with Jumpstart, which is my 6-week program, and kind of came from that background of just doing like the extreme diets and losing weight and gaining weight, correct? Is that how that went?
Absolutely. Yeah. Starving myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anywhere from 900 calories up to, I would think, get to 1200 at the highest, depending on what program I was working on. So
yeah,
absolutely starving myself.
Yeah. What's the lowest calories you've been on now? Right around 16, just under 1600?
Yeah. 1585 has been my lowest.
Yeah. And how many diet breaks have you taken? 2 or 3?
I've had 2 so far.
All right.
So that got me up to like about 2100, a little over 2100, which was hard to eat all that food, but I did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the calories that I'm at now are like, I'm very satisfied with the calories. I'm not hungry at all.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like people think that they have to starve themselves to lose weight. And then, it's like, well, of course you do, right? You should be hungry. You should have to drop your calories low. And then that's how you lose weight, right? Exercise more and eat less. And, here you're proof that you absolutely do not have to do that. Working out 3 days a week at home. So
I'm doing 4 now.
I think we'll up to 4, yeah.
Yeah. Because I like it that much.
I know. And then you're like, well, look at this, look at my
Right.
biceps. So yeah, I love that kind of switching that kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for a 4th day. So
Yeah.
Perfect. So have you found a difference between 3 days and 4 days at home?
It's funny, when I was only doing 3 days, I would find myself kind of almost waiting to the last minute to do them. With 4, you're forced to be a little bit more consistent, because I can't always do the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever it was when it was 3. But so I enjoy having another day, and I enjoy having a couple of days off as well, because I know we need rest days and all that, but it's more of a routine for me. So the more I can do it, the better. And it's easier for me to do workouts than it is to get out and walk on a routine basis. So I was just craving a little bit more. Plus, I love the way I feel after I have a workout session. I just feel super energized, and my arms are super toned. My legs are definitely getting toned. It was funny. We were moving my son and daughter out, and I went to pick something up. And my son said, "I think you're stronger than I am now." So yeah, no, I just really I'm almost obsessed with it, but not completely obsessed.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. So do you work out at night or at home? I mean, at night or in the morning?
Yep. I work out at home, and I usually do in the evenings after work. Yeah.
What time do you get home?
It depends on the day, but usually I'm doing my workouts after I eat. I usually sit for about half an hour, have a cup of coffee before I do my workouts, which I know caffeine in the evenings, but it's all right. And so
Some people, it doesn't affect some people.
Yeah, no, but it does help me. Although I've tried to stop doing, but I feel, I don't know if I'm just mentally thinking I need the caffeine to push me through. I probably don't. I could try that out, but I like my coffee. So, But yeah, usually 6:30 to 7:30 is when I'm doing it. So just works out. I just put something on TV that I've, don't really care to really pay attention to, just to have it in the background and just go with it. And I've, I haven't bought a ton of equipment, but I have it all here in my little office / workout room, and it's been working for me.
I love it. I love that. A lot of people say that, they get home, they're just exhausted and tired from after working all day. And then it's like, did you have breakfast?
Yeah.
It's like not, people wonder why they don't have energy when they get home from work, and it's just like you run out the door with a cup of coffee and then you grab a salad with some freaking chicken on it. And, it's not going to cut it.
No, my lunch is always my largest meal because I just feel like it keeps me sustained through the afternoon. But I also get to work super early in the morning. So that's why I don't work out in the morning. But I don't find myself exhausted at all. In fact, I have a lot more energy, I think, because of the workouts and the fact that I'm eating enough food. But like I haven't had a great week this week. We've just been crazy busy. So my workouts have not really been good this week. And I'm feeling it. Like I'm exhausted. And I don't think it's because I was moving my kids, because I wasn't tired while I was doing it. I think I need to get back into that routine, which I will today after this.
Yeah. So, yeah. And speaking of routine, right? So Lori sent me some on how you were, how you have been so successful. So when we last talked, you were down 12 pounds and 12 inches in 8 weeks. And today you're down, I want to say 30. I'm going to say 30 because I know we're going to hit 30, right? So it's just under 30 and 33 and a half inches. And we were talking about buying jeans last week, right? Yep. Having to buy some new jeans. So how does one stay consistent? I'm just going to read what your coach said, and then maybe you can riff off of that a little bit. So she's just saying that Alison is committed to her goals. She works the program in its entirety. She consistently hits her step, water, and macro goals. And she's done this by logging every day. She records every bite, lick, or taste, just like we always suggest. And she's saying that you're a client that is committed to reaching her health goals. And it has been a pleasure to work with her and watch her transformation. So that's from Coach Lori.
I feel like I just won an award or something. That was cute. Yeah, Lori's great. Yeah, no, I do. I am very much committed to doing it, but I enjoy the process. I do not find tracking a chore. I don't track my water anymore because I don't think I really need to. I mean, I know if it's time for me to get some more water in, because I can feel it, like there's a dryness, So, I use the same 20-ounce cups every time, so I have a pretty good idea, but I don't have to log it every time. I've gotten into a routine, so that's really nice. I don't have to pre-plan every single day because I was so consistent with my logging and learning what combinations of food like fit my goals. But I don't have to pre-plan. I do track though, but I like doing that. So yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's not, I had a friend who used to call things like this not diets but livets, because you're living in a different way. So, and it's true, because this is not, so it will be a year in July that I've been working with you in some capacity, whether it's Jumpstart.
Starting with the 6 week, in July.
Yeah. And just, it has just changed my mentality. And it's a goal for me, for myself, but also it's time for me. It's self-care as opposed to just being an afterthought. So I think my mindset is really the key to why I'm doing so well.
Mm-hmm. So. Where do you think that shift happened? Because you had a great mindset coming in, and I know that it's time for me now. I have to commit to doing this. Was that what created the impetus?
Yeah. And so I've struggled with my weight most of my life, right? And so I would get this whole, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I feel. All right, I'm going to go do this diet system that I, found out about. And I think I've lost 50 pounds twice, and each time gained it back and then some. And both times it was very low calorie and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I got a lot of, oh, wow, you look great. Well, that's great. Awesome, whatever. But then I just felt like crap all the time. This time around, it was different because what you had, and I watched a lot of your videos before I committed to the program. And what you were saying was so opposite of what I had done before that I was like, hey, I will buy into this because I want to try it. Like, I've tried other stuff. It worked. I have a feeling I could make this work too. But this was like, okay, no, you have to rethink your entire understanding of how your body reacts to food. And so, and not just food, but sleep and everything else. But that was the thing. It was a total package kind of thing where you're not looking just at calories in, calories out. The idea of strength training was very much a draw for me. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing that happened is that I hadn't been taking care of myself for, I don't know, several months. I think at that point, I had been at my dad, living with my dad, taking care of him at the end of his life. And it was all about him. And I knew that one thing that happened when I was with him is I bought an elliptical and I had it delivered to his house. And he was so proud of me for doing that because he knew that I was not taking care of myself because things were just happening. So between that, menopause and COVID and everything that went down for the last few years, it was like
Perfect storm. Yeah.
yeah, it was a perfect storm. And so it was time to reset. And I don't know, I just felt drawn to this program and the way that you actually give the information and the fact that you're very realistic and you're honest about your own journey. And so I just think something just clicked. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it completely, but it was the right time and I was ready. So took advantage of it, and I'm very glad I did because it's not, it's one of those things where sometimes you're taking a leap of faith. It's like, here's this random person on TikTok, right? But there was something I was like, you know what, I kind of like her. I like her attitude. Yeah, and it doesn't hurt that you're in the Boston area since I'm from there, Boston area. I should say. Boston. So yeah, no, I don't know. Just the stars just kind of aligned on that one, I guess. But it has become, and because it wasn't like day one, I was like, I've got this. No, it's taken me a while to really get into it, but now it is a routine.
Yeah.
And I mean, my kids were laughing at me because I was saying the day that we were moving in the rain, we had like no chairs, no table, nothing. I mean, the place was a complete mess. And I'm going, where are my tuna packets? I got to get my protein in, So it's like, it's obviously changed my mindset in the way that a way that I can, it's just me now. It's not something I have to do. It's not a chore. This is how I feel good. And I know it because this week I feel very different because I know I haven't got my water in very well this week. Because I was in a car. Yeah, because I'm in I was in a car most of the day, that kind of thing. It's like, I didn't want to be drinking 100 ounces of water, which is what I typically drink. And so, but I totally exhausted, completely exhausted. And I know that it's not just because of my activity, it's because of my lack of activity. So this has been a great week for me. This is the first test week I've really had, because even when I go on vacation, I haven't had any issues. But this has been the first week where I've struggled with a few things, but I'm not beating myself up. And I realized that, like, I know why I keep doing this, because it makes me feel good. So this does not make me feel good when I don't do it right.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And the fact that you're like, where are my tuna packets, right? That's important to touch on, because I know, like, if I'm traveling, I'm going to set myself up, like, even if we're just going for a long ride and I know we're not getting lunch and everybody wants to be stopping at McDonald's, like, that's fine. You guys can, but I'm going to make a turkey sandwich. Right. And then it's like, then I'm like, anybody else want one? Like, I'll make you one. Right. But this is what I'm doing. Right. And just really putting yourself first. Right. Normally it's like, oh, let me pack for everybody. And then we don't do anything for ourselves. Right. And it's like, kind of switching that around and making sure that, here, let me do my thing, right? We can go to McDonald's, right? But I ain't. So,
yeah. I actually had McDonald's for the first time in a very long time, and I was like, I can fit this in because I had the macros and I could fit it. And then when I had it, I was like,
that's probably why you feel like shit.
What was I thinking? Because I really wasn't missing anything.
The last time I had McDonald's was like, I was like, oh my God, this is the last time that I've had McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's, but like the hamburger itself, right? Not a salad with something else. The last time I actually had McDonald's hamburger and some fries, I'm like, I can't eat this anymore.
I know. I can't have super greasy, and I can't have really high sugar stuff. So, and I love ice cream, but I mean, if I have the macros for it, I might have like a quarter of a cup, and it's it's super sweet.
Yeah.
So, but I like it. But I, the other thing is I don't want to start having cravings for sugar again, which is what I used to crave, but I don't crave that anymore. So yeah, the
Like
sweetest
those
stuff I
little
have
Dove
is,
ice cream minis, they're like
yeah,
70 calories. Those aren't bad. It's like,
yeah,
couple of bites.
yeah. I mean, it's once in a while, it's more like a treat thing to me. So, but yeah, I don't sabotage myself by keeping a lot of stuff like that in the house either.
Right.
Although my son moved back in temporarily, and of course now we've got, Frosted Flakes and, junk food and stuff. But he could actually gain some weight, so it's all right. I'm just gonna stay away from it.
Yeah. Another thing that you said too is you don't have to pre-plan anymore. And I think that some of my clients, right? So that is really the goal, right? So I am trying to get you to where you don't have to track, but what does that look like when you're getting done? So for myself, I don't need to track, right? I've done enough of the tracking to know, and just like yourself, I know that it's going to be 6 to 8 ounces of turkey on a piece of bread and maybe some cheese and some popcorn is going to fit my freaking macros. Like that's what I have, and I don't have to weigh it out. So I pretty much can eyeball that and know that that is going to hit my macros. I know, like if I have 60 grams of protein for breakfast, then that means that I probably only need to have like 50 grams for lunch. And you just kind of know what that is. And that is like the ultimate goal, right? And I know like with the new clients who say, hey, you have to pre-plan, and now you don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
You still tracking it, but you already know, like, I know, boom, this turkey sandwich is going to fit here, or whatever it is that you do. This is my go-to breakfast, and then whatever the lunch is. So that's the goal.
Yeah. And then the nice thing is those that, there are times where things happen and you haven't been able to really plan, like a last minute outing or something, or whatever the case may be. But, if I know that I'm having lunch with friends, we always know what restaurant we're meeting at, so I always look it up ahead of time and I try to make the best selection. But I'm not going to deprive myself. If I want to get something, I will figure out how to fit it in. And that's when I do plan. That's when I start going, okay, well, I know cottage cheese is probably the better option today than XYZ, so it's like, so I'll do that so that I can enjoy this other stuff, because I do want to stay on track. And have I had days where I'm like way over? Absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. It happens. But for the most part, I'm pretty consistent, and I feel better when I'm consistent. And I think that's why I'm successful at this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 30 pounds, 33 and a half inches. Like, yeah.
Oh, the inches thing kills me, because I swear it's like, I don't believe that it's real. And I'll take more, I'll, take the measurement and goes, wait a minute, did it really go down that much again? But yeah, and I've seen my before and after, my original photos, and then compared them. I love how you can do that with True Coach now, where you can actually compare the first one to whichever other ones. And it's like, okay, I'm getting it. Yep, those Romanian deadlifts are actually helping. And So it's I still have plenty of work to do, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
And I think that is another huge piece of the puzzle. It just accepting the fact that this is just going to, if you expected this to happen in 6 months, right, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
No, I would have been burnt out. I would have been done, but before, like, because I've done that. I've done the rapid weight loss in 6 months, and it's great to get all those little kudos and whatever, but it's not reality and it's not healthy. But yeah, I would have, and then you just burn out. You're like, how long can you do a 900 calorie diet where, yes, it was all protein based, or it was lean protein, but like, that's great, but no carbs. Like, carbs are important. I have learned that. Carbs are very important. So I wouldn't be able to do it 6 months at anything. Yeah. This is much more sustainable, and it's life-changing as opposed to a quick fix. And I think that's the key to it. And if anybody's sitting there going, okay, I have, I've seen some of your videos, just like, oh, I have 10 pounds to lose for a wedding in 3 weeks. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what is that really going to do to you? What is 10 pounds, for crying out loud? It's like it's not about the weight either. I mean, if I were only losing fat and not gaining muscle, which I know is not possible, like I know my body doesn't do that, but if I were only losing fat, not gaining muscle, I'd probably be showing a 50-pound weight loss. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be flabby, and and that's fine if that's, but I don't think that's realistic. And I like having muscles. I don't look like a bodybuilder, but I have muscles, and there are times where I'm like, oh my God, I've did these quads, like, and I'll tell you something, I don't even know what any of these muscle names really were until I started this program. Like, okay, quads, yeah, right. Now I'm using them like everybody's
The top of my legs. You see the top of
yeah.
my legs.
But it's so funny where you're just like, wow, I really felt that in my hamstrings. I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm an actual like weightlifter, but but it's fun. It's fun. And it's just something I enjoy. You got to put the work in. You can't, it's not, there's no magic pill here.
Yeah.
And
It does
that's
take,
because
there's steps to it, right? You have to start where you are. And then like I say, upgrading your nutritional intelligence, right? You don't know what you don't know. But the same with the training as well, and adding on to that and the mindset and just bringing it all. Like, I know people like, oh, how do you do it? Like, oh, tell me everything, right? And you can't tell everybody everything that they need to do all at once, because you're not ready for all of that, So it's just like, do the steps, put in the work. I think the hugest piece is just being consistent. So you blow out your calories one day. Oh, well, it's so not the end of the world. If you're consistent throughout the rest of your week and you have a blowout every now and then, it doesn't make a difference,
Yeah. I will say the one thing I liked about Jumpstart is that it really got me in the mentality of eating correctly. Now, it wasn't so focused on macros, it was, the protein, but just getting me to eat enough food to get to that maintenance so that I was repairing my body basically from all the damage I had done. I thought that was really, really helpful because it was easy. It was like, okay, get these calories in and the protein. So you get to learn the protein, right? And then when I moved into the fat loss, it's like, okay, now we're going to look at fat and carbs. And yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but it just kind of stacked, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it wasn't overwhelming. And I know that there were, like, at the beginning, I'm like, well, I wish somebody would do the meal planning for me. That's a huge mistake. Now that I look at that, it's like, that would have been a bad thing for me, because I was never going to figure this out. And just relying on someone else to tell me, well, eat this, 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 and this. Well, but why? Because the why is important. And I think that's why, I know it can be overwhelming for people. It's like, it's not that hard. You start figuring out your go-tos that you really enjoy, that fit together. And really, I kind of have go-to days, right? So it's like, okay, I know here's one day where I'm going to have my overnight oats, which is our oats overnight, which I absolutely love, with my soy milk. And then I'm going to have my turkey sandwich and my tomatoes and cucumbers. And I'm going to have some cottage cheese with my blueberries. And then, like, I have this day, and it's just an easy one.
What's Alison's perfect day, right? Listen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically I've got like 3 days that I'm pretty much set. And then and it's just easy because those are the days where you're like, I don't feel like thinking about this. So I'm just going to go with option A, and I like everything I eat. I don't force myself to eat anything I don't like. And so it does get a little repetitive, but I like it. So it's fine. But I tried like edamame pasta the other day for the first time. And I'm like, why didn't I try this so much longer ago? So I can get stuck in a routine a little bit. That doesn't bother me, but there's definitely room to, be creative. So I don't know. It just, I don't feel overwhelmed at all anymore. And I was a little bit at the beginning, but the fact that it's just a little bit here and there, and then you introduce the sleep part and understanding why that, and then talking about hormones and all. And there's just, all this information, and I don't feel like I have to absorb all of it, but I save all the emails, I have them all. I have different categories. One that's, the Monday mindset, so that I can go back and read them and maybe learn something new, because I don't know everything. As long as I've been doing it, which isn't really that long, it's like, I don't know everything. So, it's a total package. This is a lifestyle. This is not a diet. It's a live it.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny too, because like you'll hear something like, say when you just started, and then you'll hear something, 3 months later, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now it just hits, right? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, like, with like planning or whatever. I know I'm harping on the planning, but it really is,
Yeah.
it really is key for sure. And just having, so that you're establishing that rhythm for your body. Your body just wants to crave. It says like, hey, it's time for our blah, 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 right? We need some
Oh
protein.
yeah.
We need some fruit, like fruit would be nice, something like that, so it's just good to have that kind of
Yeah.
ingrained.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's gotten the point where it's like, I'm not telling my body what I want. It's my body telling me what it needs.
It's
So
listening,
yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's totally true.
feeling in on that.
Oh yeah. And this week has been a really good, like, as irritated as I've been with the fact that I haven't been completely on plan this week, it's been really good to see how that has impacted me, because I have been so consistent and careful, and had a day here, a day there, whatever, where I was like, oh, I had too much wine, and that's a whole different thing. We could have a whole nother session on wine. But it's nice to be reminded that it's like, okay, you know what? This is important. I need to keep doing this. Not that I was feeling like, oh, I'm getting tired of this. No, I was irritated that I couldn't be on plan, but it's nice to know that it really does make a difference when you take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Shoot, there was something else I wanted to touch on that you had mentioned. Oh, I think it was the meal plans. I get this a lot. People just like, I just need a meal plan. Just give me a meal plan. Like, I can't, like, it's like, you don't understand the process, right? I want you're going to create your own meal plan with the foods that you enjoy, that you can enjoy with your family, with your husband, so that you can go on a date night. Like, what happens if you go out to a restaurant and the food's not on your meal plan? Like, now what, right? So I get why people want the meal plan, because they're just like, but you really have to figure it out, because then that information sticks. When you assimilate it, then you know why. I want you to eat more protein. Okay, how do I do that? Well, let's see what protein sources that you like, not what I like.
Yep.
What do you like from this list of all the protein sources, and then work that in. Now carbs, now fats, like now what is it that you want, that you enjoy? Because if you are eating salmon and brown rice and broccoli because it's on the meal plan, right? What's going to happen when we're done? It's just like,
I think
I appreciate why the people want the meal plan, but I don't think they appreciate why I don't, right? Except for by what you said.
Well, that's funny, because I'm one of those people. It's like, okay, yeah, I want it to be easy, and just tell me exactly what to do and I will follow you, sensei. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a meal plan to me now, I would be irritated by that, because I would say, what, I don't want to be stuck with okay, I have to have this for breakfast, lunch. No, I don't want that. Now it does seem easier, I guess, but I'd be almost insulted if someone tried to give me a meal plan at this point. I want to have that flexibility, and the one thing I do like is that the group likes to share different ideas for recipes and stuff like that, and I find that very helpful, because it's who doesn't want to try something new? But
Yeah.
Don't prescribe me. I mean, food is medicine. I agree, but I don't want it prescribed to me.
Yeah. Have the foods that you enjoy. So what does Allison's day of eating look like?
My day eating. Okay, so I usually do oatmeal in the morning. I don't know if you ever heard of oats overnight. They're really good. But
Yeah.
I don't do them overnight. I just drink it like a shake, basically. But so that's usually what I have, that with the soy milk or an almond milk. It depends on what I have. And then I'll have cottage cheese or yogurt for a morning snack with some berries. If it's yogurt, I usually put in a little bit of pudding mix to make it more like almost like cheesecake.
Okay.
But I like to have that in the afternoon more than in the mornings, but I'll have a morning snack. And then lunch is usually 6 ounces of turkey or chicken, like deli meat. This is like a work day, typical work day. And then 2 pieces of 647 bread, which is my favorite. And then either I'll have some carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever that on the side. And then I found these like stuffed chicken. It's like broccoli and cheese chicken stuffed thingies, which are super high in protein, but they're very low in carb, which I was surprised, and low in fat. And I can have 2 of those for dinner. So I don't usually, but that's one of my favorites. This is one of my go-to days.
Yeah.
Super, super easy. And then sometimes I'll have protein powder and a coffee. Sometimes I don't need it, but I do enjoy that. I like the salted caramel one in my coffee. So that'll be like a little bit of a treat. And then I have some collagen. I try not to do too much of that. I try not to do too much in terms of supplements, and I try to actually eat real food for the protein, but that doesn't always work out. And then my snacks, sometimes I have popcorn.
Yeah. That's my go-to.
Sometimes I have popcorn, but yeah, I like snacky things, but not salty. But popcorn's one thing. It's like, I just love it. White cheddar popcorn. But yeah, I always try to get at least 2 or 3 servings of vegetables in a day and at least 1 of fruit. So that's pretty typical for me anyways.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a whole lot of food, but it is a lot of food.
I know, like she's still talking about her food. Oh my God.
I also like salads, but I've gotten to the point where I don't use a lot of salad dressing because I have seasoning. Like I usually cook up some chicken and season it really well, and then just that touch of olive oil or maybe some red wine vinegar or something like that. And it's like those I like that too. That's one of my go-tos, but that takes more effort.
It does, and it takes time to eat it too.
Right. I've gotten into kale. I really like kale. I've learned that, or I was taught that if you massage the kale, it's a lot less bitter. Yeah. I mean, I used to, the first one I had, I was like, I can't eat this. You can't chew it. It's like, oh, this is great. So I'm really into kale now.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Right.
Is there anything that you want to add?
No, I mean, I'm just super grateful that I found this and that I found you guys and the whole team. Your whole team is amazing. And I would encourage anybody who's on the fence to think about it because it's worth trying it. And, I've got a good friend who started with it and because of life circumstances had to stop for a little bit, but now she's like, okay, I think I'm almost ready to get back into it and looking forward to it. So it's not just me. I think a lot of the people, especially some of the people who are newer, super energetic, really enjoy watching the Zoom call. Sometimes I don't get a chance to get on, but just to hear that everybody's like excited about their wins and their, what they found, what new item they found. And it's a community now. And I love that. I think it's great. So highly recommend this whole process because it's life-changing.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that, and I appreciate it. And your attitude too, and just contribution, right, to the group and to the larger, the No BS Menopause Secrets group, right? You're always encouraging in there. So it is nice to have more people in our Facebook group who are more engaging, so Sandy's kind of taken that over. That's her baby now, and just kind of sharing the recipes and everything. So it definitely, is a place to just have more resources and for you guys to talk to each other as well as on the call. Yeah. Not everybody can make the calls. So,
well, you have great guest speakers too. So
thank you. I wasn't sure how that would go over, but I was like, hey, whatever, like with Chris.
Oh, that was great. I watched it twice actually because I got distracted the first time, but I was like, wow. I mean, I was listening to it when it was live, but then I went back and watched the next day and it was like, what he said, I mean, it's like, all right, now this is all making a whole lot of sense. And you've been saying it too. It's not, it's not like this was brand new information, but it was like, wow, okay, we got somebody who's really like been in it, does this all day, working with people to help get them past, drinking on a regular basis and knowing what it does to you. And it's like, okay, So yeah, that's why I feel like crap after I have wine.
Right.
Like I used to drink a lot of wine. I'm down to 1 day a week, if that. And even then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done it. So,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
fine when we just can't get away with anymore. Damn
I
it.
know, well, I mean, no, I think it's a good thing. It's a
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah, so yes, that was one. But yeah, everyone you have had on, I've ended up following, and yeah, so it's been very cool, and I really appreciate the fact that you are so open and honest about your own journey and your struggles and trying to fit this in while running a business and moving and
yeah.
everything. And so I mean, it's just there's not somebody sitting up there going, you can do it, and I'm just going to tell you what to do. This is I'm doing it with you. So I appreciate that. I think that says a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I finally got into a headspace where I can lock it down. And so finally it's happening.
That's life, isn't it?
Yeah. Part two, but yeah. It's different too when you're just like in a maintenance and a kind of a build. And then it's like, all right, so now let's go into, let's go pop into a deficit, which normally would be like pretty easy, but when you have extenuating circumstances, but I'll talk about that on Sundays. So, but thank you very much. I really am very excited to share the determination. You don't have to kill yourself to do it, but you do have to take it does take consistency. It's not hard, but it does take effort. And if you just put that in, then you get the payoff. So you're definitely living the payoff. And I'm just excited to see, where you are when we talk 3 months from now.
Yes, me too. Can't wait.
Yeah. In the summer, I know you had summer goals, right? What were your summer goals?
Oh, I said I was going to be willing to wear a bathing suit in public. I may not be there quite yet, but I'm August. I think I might be there in August.
Yeah. So perfect. Well, thank you very much. And I'll see you on a call soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.